I am not here as a supporter or defender of Palestine Action and their tactics. I condemn without hesitation abuse, intimidation and attacks on the police and any political opponent. The case for acting on the group itself was and is strong. We've seen a pattern of violence at their events, and they have not disassociated themselves from that violence. But we also see police and refugees being targeted for violence alongside those who want to protest about immigration matters. Banners that say, "Kill them all, let God sort them out." Neo-Nazi groups circling. And we cannot ignore the impact on policing on our streets because of these incidents. That this is just not sustainable for our police or our criminal justice system. There is a difference between people protesting using violence and people protesting the use of prescription. If we don't get right the response, if we continue to arrest those in that secondary category, the seriousness of the term terrorism risks losing its meaning, becoming diluted rather than strengthened. Prescription was supposed to be about stopping those inciting direct harm and violence. Going after somebody with a poster testing the boundaries of liberty, many of whom are clear they don't support Palestine Action but feel strongly about Palestinian rights or free speech, confuses rather than clarifies the government's intention.
Mr. Speaker, anyone who wishes to demonstrate about the humanitarian situation in Gaza or the actions of any government, including our own, has the absolute freedom to gather with others and voice their views, provided that they do so within the law. But supporting Palestine and supporting a prescribed terrorist organisation are not the same thing. Now, Mr. Speaker, these are not the actions of a legitimate protest group. And for a government to ignore expert security assessments, advice and recommendations would be highly irresponsible. Were there to be further serious attacks or injuries, there would rightly be questions asked about why action had not been taken. But supporting or being a member of a prescribed terrorist organisation is a criminal offence and will never be acceptable, regardless of the wider context. We all want the suffering in Gaza to end and the remaining hostages returned.
Senator Home Secretary Criswell.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Of course, we, in common, I hope, with everyone in this House, fully support, unequivocally, the right to peaceful protest, including on issues concerning the Middle East, both the hostages who remain captive and civilians in Gaza, whose plight I know concerns us all. But in exercising that right to protest, violence is never acceptable. And Palestine Action have committed deliberate criminal damage against various premises. They've used a sledgehammer to attack a police officer, and they have deliberately sabotaged RAF planes. No matter how strongly people feel about an issue, and whatever the rights and wrongs of that issue, using violence to advance a political agenda is never acceptable. That is not how we do things in this country. We settle things through debate, and we settle things through election.
Now, I completely agree with him that violence is never acceptable in terms of pursuing a political agenda, and I'm very pleased that we're able to establish a consensus across this House in that regard. Let me just say to him, with regard to the point he made about briefings, of course, he knows we'd be very happy to brief him. We did brief the Shadow Minister head of the prescription action back in July, but he knows I'd be very happy to brief him on Privy Council terms whenever he should wish.
As I understand it, the conviction of those simply displaying prescribed groups' names have been extremely rare unless there's been clear evidence of an intent to promote a group's more extreme actions. If this is the case, and as it's clear that the acts of protest and civil disobedience seen in recent days are not acts which would ordinarily form part of a case for prescription, why don't the police simply stop the arrests?
You good?
Rush back!